What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at what's in my regular trail riding backpack and see what are the main essentials that I would take when I'm on solo rides and going out pretty far in the backcountry alone. Now, you may not necessarily need everything that I have on this list, but these are my basic essentials if I'm going on a big ride for hours out in the backcountry, and especially if I'm going solo. This is pretty much the basic kit that I'm going to have with me pretty much at all times. So let's dive in. All right, first things first, it's water. You would be surprised at how many trail riders I've met who don't bring nearly enough water with them. But also there is the flip side of people packing too much water, and water is very heavy. I'm guilty of that myself. But if you're going out into the backcountry, the number one thing that you should have with you is water. It goes without saying. So I'm actually just getting into using a camel pack, and I really strongly suggest that. They seem to hold a lot more water with quite a bit less weight. That being said, if I'm just going on a short little ride where I'm not hitting really tough trails or single track, I'll just bring my insulated thermos, keep stuff nice and cool, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a real fan of when your camelback heats up a lot and your water tastes like plastic. But you know, also it's not a super bad idea on a hot summer day like this to bring some electrolytes with you as well. I wouldn't necessarily just bring electrolytes. You kind of want a balance of both of these, and this stuff's pretty loaded full of sugar and whatnot. But I've messed around with putting like electrolyte mixes in with my water, but the problem is you end up drinking it a little too fast. At least I do. Holy crap. If you're gonna bring electrolytes with you, I recommend another little bottle or something like that, just so you have actual water and then a little bit of electrolytes. Next up, kind of in the water category, is some kind of snack. It's a good idea to have a little emergency ration on you. Even if you don't eat it, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And that's going to be a common theme for everything else on this list. Next, this is just a basic raincoat, and this packs away super tiny, super light. Got this at Walmart for 20 something bucks, and this has been a steal of a deal. Honestly, it's also a lot warmer than I expected it to be. And this is good if you're out in the backcountry for quite a while, especially in a place like British Columbia here, where the weather conditions could change on a moment's notice. When you're soaked and you start moving pretty quickly on the highway, it gets cold. So when I'm going on longer trips or, day trips, or I'm starting later at night, I'll usually bring this because it packs down so small, protects you against the rain, protects you against the wind. This is just an essential item on my list most of the time, unless I'm going out for just a short little ride. But next item on the list, a basic first aid kit. This one's a little bit large, but I would recommend getting a little mountain bike style first aid kit, any of the basic ones off of Amazon, and then also learning how to use it is a pretty good idea as well. I was taught my basic first aid back in Army Cadets, and I think it's something that a couple people should have, especially on group rides or something. You should have at least one person who knows some basic first aid. You can get smaller ones than this for mountain biking, and I recommend for farther adventures, someone in your group, at least one person, should be carrying some type of basic first aid kit. Our next item, this is a little mountain bike pump, and let's go head over to the bike to complete this section. All right, so it is my opinion that you should at least try to learn how to fix a tire or flat yourself, especially if you're going out solo in the backcountry. I strongly suggest you at least carry a front tube with you, and spoons, and the appropriate wrench to be able to take your axle off, and a small tire pump, because flats can and will happen. So I find tubes are a little bit bulky to take with me, but every time I've thought about taking a tube and not brought one, someone in the riding group has a flat or something happens, and then usually when I bring them, nothing happens. It goes again, like, it's better to not need it and have it than to need it and not have it, right? So I've got a front tube in here. If I'm going on a really long ride, I will take the appropriate front and back tube. I usually kind of don't like taking these in the backpack because I find they're kind of heavy for what they are, but you can get a little fender bag that attaches to the front of your bike or on the back of a rack here if you have a rack or a tail bag. And I also fit my spoons in here because they're a little bit heavy to be having in the backpack. Basic patch kit, you can find these for a couple bucks. You got more than enough to fix up a basic puncture flat But if you get a pinch flat, these probably aren't going to do it. So I'd still strongly recommend at least having a 21-inch tube on you. Now, why would I pick just a 21 over having both or just bringing a rear? Well, you can usually fit a 21-inch tube into an 18-inch rear tire, even a 17-inch rear tire. I've had that happen with my DR650. I only had a front tube on me, and I was able to fix the tire and temporarily with a front tube in the rear. But if you just have a rear tube and you end up getting a flat on your front, that rear tube is not going to fit in there. So a 21-inch will, in a pinch, get you out of a pickle. But you know, if you're going real far out in the backcountry, if you can and have the space, bring both, especially on multi-day trips. Now, if you're interested on how to fix a flat tire in multiple different ways, I'm going to link a video up right here by my friend Lakeman ADV. He goes over a lot of different scenarios and a lot of different ways you can jack up your bike on the trail, so I highly recommend checking out his video right here, because that's where I learned how to change my own tires. So check that out, and then let's carry on. Alright, so along with the pump, I also bring a small tire pressure gauge, because I'm a big fan of playing around with tire pressures. I know some people just slap 26 psi in their tires and they just give her like that, but airing down your tires can give you an edge in certain terrains and loose, rocky stuff, so it's nice having this little combo. Also, I'm a big fan of mountain bike gear. This is a mountain bike pump, and you're not going to believe this. You got to take my word for it, but these things are similarly weighted. Mountain bike supplies and mountain bike tools are ridiculously lightweight for what they are. They are pretty expensive generally, but this little pump, super light, kind of bulky, but it's just so light that you put it in anything, don't even notice it's there, really. So I'm a big fan of having these. That being said, some people don't play around with their tire pressures at all. Different strokes for different folks. But yeah, I like having a tire pressure gauge and a pump. Great combo. All right, so now we're going to start laying out the basic tools that I have on me at most times. These are the basic tools that I usually keep in my bag. I keep a little lightweight crescent wrench, adjustable spanner on me. When you need to change tires, you need some kind of substantial wrench to both get your axle off and then torque it adequately again. So I recommend, if you can put it with your stock toolkit, just bring an adjustable spanner. It is so worth it than messing around with little tiny lightweight wrenches or whatnot that usually come in the stock toolkit. This is just worth having one of these, honestly. Then I got some electrical tape. This is great for taping on your turn signals when you inevitably bust them off on the trails. I've got a little, is this a zinc or a magnesium fire making tool here? I would try this right now, but it is fire ban season right now. As you can see, our neighbors to the south down in Idaho are enjoying a rather big one right there. But luckily for us up in BC, the wind is blowing south right now, so sorry Idaho. The nice thing about this is it still works when it's wet. Don't have to worry about bringing a lighter. It is a bit more of an involved way of making a fire, but in a pinch, in an emergency, it will get the job done. Basic pocket knife, goes without saying. Any backwoods person will agree, it's a pocket knife. You should have a small one with you. Got a little screwdriver with me. Probably not necessary because we're going to get onto this. Now, if you really want to zoom in here, this is another mountain bike tool that I'm a big fan of. I just got this on Amazon for quite a good deal, and it really has almost everything that you need. It's got a Phillips, a flathead, it's got some basic sockets, an 8, 10, and 12 millimeter. It's got a little multi-wrench here, which I don't use this very much, but it's there if you need it. And then it's got all the metric Allen keys. This thing is so quick and easy to use. It packs away nice. It's lightweight. I have used this so many times. I highly recommend a little multi-tool just like this. It kind of even saves the need to even dig into your basic bike toolkit. Pretty much at all. It's got everything. Along with a crescent wrench, you're good to go. Next little tool is some type of basic straps. These are just super lightweight plastic basic ones. These are my spares. So if I've strapped anything to the back racks of my bike, sometimes when you're out in the backcountry, stuff will break, and this packs down pretty small. It's just worth having an extra, because sometimes, you know, if your strap breaks and your luggage is like halfway falling off in the backcountry, that's no fun. So it's worth it to carry an extra strap or a ratchet strap. This one I learned from Lakeman ADV, and a whole entire ratchet strap, which I don't have on me today. I don't usually bring one, but on a longer adventure I will. They can double as a winch. It can double as a hoist if you connect it to a tree to lift up the front of your bike to change tires. They're a pretty handy thing to have. So if you've got the space and, you know, if you're all right with the weight of a ratchet strap, that's also a very handy thing to bring. All right, next item. So, can you see these mountains here? The moment you get onto the mountains, you don't got service. So, I really do recommend having some type of Garmin InReach, some type of Zoleo. The Garmin InReach like this has a built-in GPS, so I recommend at the very least having a GPS just to see where you are in the backcountry, or a paper map. Paper maps work great if you know how to read them, but just having the option to have an SOS call sent out wherever you are, it's, well, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. I promise that's the last time I'll say this. All right, and last but not least, perhaps the most important item on this list. I'm not joking. It's a pack of zip ties. I have used zip ties for more things than I would like to admit on motorcycles. They're lightweight, you can slip them almost anywhere in your bags, and you can get away with a lot of sketchy fixes, temporary fixes, that just work. There are 1,001 uses for these things, and then probably 1,001 more. It's really worth adding zip ties into your backpack, even if it's just a couple. Like if you lose some bolts on your license plate, zip ties. If one of your spokes is a little bit loose, zip ties. Don't really recommend that. That was a special occasion. But something breaks off your bike, zip ties. A hose clamp goes, zip ties. You get the picture. They're a great thing to have on your kit, and they don't take up a lot of space, and they're super lightweight. I love these things. So important to note, when packing your backpack, if this is going to be on your back, you want the most heaviest things to be at the bottom and closer to your back, obviously, because of the laws of leverage. So I'm usually going to put the heaviest things like my crescent wrench and my tools right at the very bottom, closest to my back here. And then all the lighter things are going to go on top. So I'm just going to pack this up quickly. All right, so that's my basic kit when I'm going on a full day adventure. Not a multi-day adventure, but a full day adventure. Now, not all of these things I'll take all the time. I usually judge that per specific rides. If I'm only going out for an hour, I'll probably take just the bare necessities, just the essentials. And if I'm going on easier trails, maybe I won't bring a tube with me. But for a big adventure out in the BC backcountry, these are the main things that I will bring. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if it was helpful down below, and also leave a comment with some essential things that you wouldn't go without when you're adventuring in the backcountry. That's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.